Today we're going to be doing a goofy show where every magic card is answered by the next magic card. So we're going to start off with Archaeomancer. And what you have to do is you have to give me an answer to Archaeomancer. There is one catch. You can't use counterspells, because that would just be lame. You just have counterspell would counter the counterspell would counter the counterspell. And in some cases, it can be a preventative spell or card. So name it down. We're going to start off with Archaeomancer. It's a 4-mana 1/2 human wizard. When Archaeomancer enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So if you want to participate, you have to name the card itself plus the answer to it so that I know that you're actually talking about this card. And it appears that we have our first answer. John with Endurance puts the cards back into the library. Excellent idea. Endurance. There's a lot of, how many endurance cards are there? Oh, they changed the old switcheroo on the art on me. I didn't even know. I couldn't see. Endurance is a 3-mana 3/4 elemental incarnation with flash, so you might not see it coming, or maybe you will. It's got reach. When Endurance enters the battlefield, up to one target player puts all the cards from their graveyard on the bottom of their library in a random order. You got to put them on the bottom, Archaeomancer. Where are you, Archaeomancer? So Archaeomancer's graveyard, it becomes no more, and he'll have no target, and therefore it completely fizzles. And by the way, you can evoke this actually onto the battlefield, so you can be even tapped out, and they're not even going to see it coming. All right, so next we have Endurance. Misdirection actually doesn't interact with either of these cards. Okay, D-Mads wants Endurance into Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. Elish Norn, Mother. Okay, we have Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, a 5-mana 4/7 Phyrexian Praetor. Vigilance. If a permanent enters the battlefield causing a triggered ability of a permanent you control triggers, you get a second one, but also permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. Looks like I am going to get my Archaeomancer trigger after all. In fact, I might even get 2 Archaeomancer triggers. Okay, next we've got... Oh god, what is this? Elish Norn into Humility? Okay, looks like nobody gets anything around here. Humility, a 4-mana enchantment. All creatures lose all abilities and have base power and toughness as 1/1. Okay, we're all weenies now. We're all equal. We're all the same. No one's bigger or smaller. I mean, unless you have an equipment, actually. If you have an Umezao's Jite, you are above and beyond more powerful than anybody else. Okay, so we need an answer to Humility, and of course, this is the type of show you gotta refresh the page to really get in on here. But I'll also make sure I try to pass around the opportunity to everybody. Christopher B wants an answer. Humility to Resounding Wave. We need a way to deal with enchantments, probably. Or maybe not. Resounding Wave is a 3-mana instant. Just return target permanent to its owner's hand. You can also cycle this thing for, what is it? 8 mana? That is weird. That's a very expensive cycling cost. When you cycle Resounding Wave, return 2 target permanents to their owner's hands. You can always count on Christopher B to find like really weird off-ball cards that you've probably never heard of. I definitely never heard of this card. Shards of Alara. Probably a lot of draft cards in there I've never heard of. Okay, we need an answer to the Resounding Wave now. I mean, Counterspell is an answer to all these. That's why it says in the title, no Counterspells allowed. Oh, you give me a Counterspell? Because then it would just be a lame show. It's like Counterspell into Mana Leak, into Mana Drain, into and so on. It would be awful. Yeah, just no Counterspells, nothing. I was like, even maybe, can we have even soft counterspells? No, that'd be just stupid. Okay, we've got, I'm gonna give to D-Mads, Resounding Wave, and what the, Jin Gitaxias? What is this all about? From Kamigawa, not technically a counterspell. Jin Gitaxias. Okay, we've got Jin Gitaxias Progress Tyrant, 7 mana for a 5/5. Whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you get to copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. That's a very unique idea. So even though we are about to technically lose one of our Resounding Waves to our What are we doing here? Okay, so we're bouncing the resounding wave. Hold on, what? Whenever you cast a spell, so whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter that spell. Oh no, this is a can't. Okay, I'll allow this because this is on a creature. Does he even have flash? This ability only triggers once each turn. People never read your damn card. This is why it works, huh? Oh, you mean Jin Gitaxias? Yeah, yeah. You have to read the whole thing. Okay. At first, I thought we were like copying our resounding wave, but the resounding wave was the card that we actually had to answer. Okay. Next up, John wants to respond to Jin Gitaxias with Veil of Summer. Does that work, though? Hold on. Draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. That's right. Okay, it does work. You and perms you control gain hexproof from blue and from black until end of turn. All right, that works. Okay, we need an answer to it. Now, Veil of Summer. My stuff cannot be countered at all. All this over an Archaeomancer, of all things. You think Veil of Summer is too late? You could play Veil of Summer in advance of playing your Resounding Wave. So I play my Resounding Wave. Sorry, I play... Oh, wait a minute. We actually just need a random spell in the first place to get through the Jin Gita. You know what? I actually am not... You know, we're gonna back it up here. This only counters the first spell. This ability only it only triggers once each turn. So it's actually like not even a hard answer to the Resounding Wave, because why would I like play this Resounding Wave into the first Jin Gitaxias trigger? I would just play something random and then play Resounding Wave. I'm actually not going to count that. Let's move back to Resounding Wave. We need like an actual answer to this thing, or was Veil of Summer the answer? Theoretical stack for this show would be so busy. Yes, this is the stack the show. Okay, how about this? How about we just start off, we pick it up from Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer was actually a clean answer, and there's a lot of people who are naming answers to Veil of Summer. Okay, so Veil of Summer is an answer to the Resounding Wave targeting our Humility. So then next we'll go with Bolts, Veil of Summer into Sudden Edict. What are we even bouncing here at this point? Oh, no, you wanted to answer the Jin Gitaxias. Okay, we're at Veil of Summer here. We're at Veil of Summer. And also, please, you have to give me the name of the current card and the new card, because when you're just naming like Commandeer, Reprieve, I don't even know what you're talking about at this point. I just have no idea. So we need an answer to Veil of Summer here. Sudden Edict was against Veil of Summer. This is a Veil of Summer. So now, to protect our Humility from the Resounding Wave, we are now playing Veil of Summer. You and perms you control gain hexproof from blue and from black until end of turn. So that actually worked. That was fine. What is this? Veil into Shadow Spear? Does that work? Permanents you control. Oh, permanents your opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. All right. Okay, we've used a Shadow Spear activation. We have Teotonic Nightmare saying, so is this show just trying to make the most unhinged stack possible? Sort of. There are some things like, you know, Humility that just randomly came into play. So it's like, it's sort of a big stack, but not necessarily. Okay, we have Kano with Spear and Time Stop. Does that have split second? Oh, it's just an instant. Okay, we're gonna end the turn. Time Stop for 6 mana. Instant. End the turn. Exile all spells and abilities, including this spell. The player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size, damage, heals, and this turn and end of turn effects end. That's it. So how are we gonna deal with this card? You can't use Counterspells because that's cheating. No Counterspells allowed. There's quite a few ideas actually here. Okay, Argentina has the idea. We have Time Stop into Urtai's Meddling. Urtai's Meddling is a blue X interrupt. When target spell is successfully cast, put X delay counters on it. X cannot be 0. During each upkeep of that spell's cast, remove a delay counter from the spell. If the spell has no delay counters on it, it resolves. Okay, it's going to technically work. I don't know how many of these types of cards even exist. Okay, so we have Urtai's Meddling on the stack now. Any card that bounce on the stack count? Yes, actually, I will count those. I will count that. I have no idea how many of those we're going to be allowed to do. Maybe yeah, I'm going to count them. I'm going to count them because like we'll run out of them eventually. Essentially, all suspending is casting Meddling on yourself. More than technically works, Meddling now makes the caster skip a future turn. Wow. Okay, we have Urtai's Meddling into Misdirection. Okay, hold on. That's interesting. So we have now Misdirection. Misdirection is a 5-mana instant. You can exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay Misdirection's mana cost. Change the target of target spell with a single target. So the Urtai's Meddling was targeting our time stop. And now what we're going to do is we're going to misdirect the time stop the Urtai's Meddling onto the Misdirection, making sure that the time stop actually resolves. Remember, you got to name the card into the new card. Misdirection into Reprieve. Oh, but then they'll replay it. Okay, but we can't use the same card twice. So now we got Reprieve, 2-mana instant. Return target spell to its owner's hand, draw a card. Yeah, we can't go back and use the same card twice. Ooh, Misdirection into Fork would have been sick. Misdirect on... Can Misdirect hit Misdirection? Yeah, Reprieve. Okay, we're going to return target spell to its owner's hand. And Misdirection is most definitely a spell. We have Teutonic Nightmare saying, Hive Mind versus Misdirection. Figure that out. That sounds like an absolute headache. I am not going to figure that out. This is a great idea, New York Street Post, but we're on Reprieve now. Reprieve into Rurik Thar? Rurik Thar. Does that do anything? Okay, we have Vigilance Reach. It attacks each combat if able. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Rurik Thar deals 6 damage to that player. I would say this is a very soft answer. Too soft. Even if it wasn't play. I mean, they just get blasted for 6, but it's okay. Time stop into Misdirection makes any answer afterwards questionable. Didn't stop the time stop from being on the stack to be messed with. No, the point is the Misdirection was trying to protect the time stop. That was the idea. It's protecting the time stop, which was trying to stop the Shadow Spear from activating or something like that. Does killing the player not counting it? Well, I mean, if you can kill the player, that's totally fair. I mean, I'm fine with that. But I mean, 6 damage is not going to kill basically anybody. Okay, we need an answer to Reprieve. And also remember, name the card, and then we do have an answer here. Malum. So you gotta name the card, just like Malum did. Reprieve into Ether Snatch. Okay, Ether Snatch. Gain control of target spell. You may choose new targets for it. Oh my god. I thought Misdirection... No, Misdirection was the answer. Yeah, no, Misdirection was the... Look, it's always... The name of the show, each magic card answers the last one. So this is the new one. And then the new card answers the very last one. So now we have an Ether Snatch that just gained control of Reprieve. And of course, the Reprieve can like answer something else on the battlefield. We're going to ignore what the Reprieve actually targets, because then that will split off into 2 stacks. We're not going to do that. We have an Ether Snatch on the stack. You had to refresh your browsers, people. Oh, we got Kano. Ether Snatch into activate door to door to nothingness. That's one way of doing it. All right, 5-mana artifact. Door to nothingness enters the battlefield. Tap, but if it was already on the battlefield. Double Wooburg, tap, sacrifice door to nothingness. Target player loses the game. That is one way of winning the stack, hands down. All right, we're gonna look for an answer to Door to Nothingness, but I have to tell you where you get all these answers from. You get them at FusionGamingOnline.com, today's sponsor, also my favorite sponsor. Where you can get Deal of the Week this week, 15% off all Gamegenic accessories. Not to mention, you get all your singles. The Lorwyn Eclipsed cards are out, and you know you love those new decks that are being made out of them. Get your cards from FusionGamingOnline.com. Why? Well, I've got 2 reasons for you. First, you can use coupon code Nikachu to get 5% off all your purchases, but also, it also supports the channel. So if you love me and you love this channel, then you might want to spend money there. It's a good idea. Just like me. Okay, next up, we're back to our show. We have Door to Nothingness. What is this? Redirect Lightning. Both Hexanort and Vec suggest it. Redirect Lightning. Redirect Lightning is a red instant. As an additional cost to cast the spell, pay 5 life or pay 2. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. Oh my god. I'm gonna redirect the Door to Nothingness trigger probably right back to your face. So now we're on Redirect Lightning. Does it have a second side to it? It feels like it's double-sided. Oh, it's a lesson card. I guess you can grab it with a lesson or something. Everyone seems to have answers to Door to Nothingness. Door to Nothingness, not the strongest card apparently, even though it costs double Wooburg to even get online. Remember, you gotta name the card and the next card. Okay, Bryce has an answer. Redirect to Everyone Lives. Is that a card? I don't get it. Okay, that's not a card. Redirect Lightning into Angel's Grace. That's fascinating. Okay, so we're not gonna die after all. Angel's Grace is a white. This is not technically this is not an answer to Redirect Lightning. Although, we'll stick to the lore. We'll stick to the lore. Angel's Grace. It is a white instant. It's got split second. It's gonna be very difficult to interact with. You can't lose the game this turn, and your opponents can't win the game this turn until end of turn. Damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. Is it actually possible to interact with this? Or are we stuck now? I guess in theory, in theory we might go back actually. It ends the entire response sequence. Split second kind of breaks this one. Okay, what could be in play that would trigger upon Angel's Grace that would keep the stack going? Let's think about that. What is in play? Because things can still be on the stack if there's something else on the stack. Like Split Second. Split Second can only use special action with Morph faced up. That's also possible. Okay, we have Counterbalance. Okay, so Counterbalance triggers whenever an opponent, it's an enchantment for blue. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, counter that spell if it has the same converted mana cost as the revealed card. Now, Counterbalance trigger on the stack. How do we answer the Counterbalance? There is literally just Counterbalance on, because we don't know what's on top. We actually don't know what's on top. I thought counters don't count. Well, this thing's not going to resolve. This thing is here for the sake of... Also, this is a very weird counter, but this thing is not going to resolve. It just has a trigger on the stack that can potentially counter. It just keeps the game going. Depends if Grace is on the stack. It's still on the stack. Yeah, Grace is still on the stack. And I assume... But we're gonna assume this Counterbalance trigger matters. But Split Second is on the stack, so nobody can respond. Oh, is that how it works? Oh, I didn't know that's... I thought people can respond for as long as there is something on the stack. As long as the spell is on the stack, players can't cast spells. I understand. Okay, so what is gonna happen here? Okay, then we have to go back. So Angel's Grace is going to resolve. The redirect lightning is going to redirect the door to nothingness, but it doesn't kill the person. And so the Ether Snatch is now on the stack, and it's targeting the Reprieve. Gain control of target spell. Okay, so we need a new answer to Ether Snatch. So the stack resolved a little bit, and now we're going to go back up. I should actually rename this show like the greatest stack of all time or something like that. Okay, so now we're back at Ether Snatch because we got stuck at a split second card. In the future, I'm going to ban the split second cards. Screw this, I'm playing Mind Break Trap. Mind Break Trap. Technically not Counterspell. I'm probably going to ban these types of cards in the future too, but that's fine. It's the first time we do this show. For Mind Break Trap, 4 mana instant trap. If an opponent casts 3 or more spells this turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay Mind Break Trap's mana cost. And boy, we've played a lot of spells so far. Exile any number of target spells. So we've got... Sure, Steve Cooper's like, surely all the permits we're activating are also on the field. Absolutely. It's quite the board state. We're like building a game as we speak. Bell, Mind Break Trap into Decree of Silence. Decree of Silence, a 8-mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a spell counter that spell and put a depletion counter on it. If there are 3 or more depletion counters on Decree of Silence, sacrifice it. Cycling. Whenever you cycle Decree of Silence, you may counter target spell. We can't technically have counter spells. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put this in the counter spell camp. No counter spells allowed. So I'm assuming you want to cycle the thing. So we have to go by this. At least exiled the spells. Wouldn't Decree of no, but they can cycle it. Cycling it for the win. Okay, we got Dat Yak Trap Pull from Eternity. What does that do? Put target face-up card that's removed from the game into its owner's graveyard. I don't know how that actually answers anything. How does that answer Ether Snatch into Reprieve? No, Pull from Eternity doesn't answer anything. Okay, we're sitting at Mind Break Trap. Oh boy, with Lavinia Azorius Renegade. Okay, we have a 2-mana 2/2. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands that player controls. Whenever an opponent casts this spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Okay, I'll count this one. It's an awkward one though. It's like a passive counter spell. But I don't know why they would play it into this damn thing. Whatever. Okay, we'll continue from here. We'll continue with the... Okay, do you know what? We can continue with the Azorius Renegade. Yeah, we're going full No, do you know what? I gotta ban these things. Okay, if it has the word counterspell in it, it's just banned. The stack is gone. Well, no, not necessarily the stack is gone. Because then you could... To be honest, this is not even a stack. But we're gonna make it a stack, because it's a lot more fun that way. Lavinia into eaten by piranhas. Okay, we'll go. Okay, whatever. We'll continue on with Lavinia Azorius Renegade because we're sort of like moving in the right direction. Okay, so next we've got Lord Jeraxus with Lightning Bolt. Okay, Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt. This is the first time I'm doing this show. We've never done it before. It dies to Doomblade, dies to everything, apparently. Okay, so now we're on Lightning Bolt to deal 3 damage to any target, which could kill the Lavinia Azorius Renegade, which allows us to play our Mind Break Trap. Bolt plus Spellskite, I like that. Spellskite. Okay, Spellskite is a 2-mana 0/4 Phyrexian Horror, and for a blue or 2 life, change a target of target spell or ability to Spellskite. Everyone has an answer to Bolt. There's a million answers to Bolt. Bolt cannot hit the Lavinia in this chain. Why is that correct? Opponents can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands they control. Well, you just spend regular mana on your lightning bolt. Fin Grinder, Spell's Guide, about force. Oh, sorry, about face? About face is a red instant. Switch target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Effects that alter the creature's power alter its toughness instead, and vice versa this turn. Wow. So we can, like, and even if you can't even redirect this anywhere else because you're just going to redirect it to yourself. No, in this case, we're going to assume the Lavinia is somehow in play for some reason. Just because, like, it's moving the show along. I totally understand the people who are like, Bolt can't hit a Lavinia. That's not even in play. Okay, about face into Willbender. How does that work? 2 mana for a 1/2 morph. Oh, when Willbender is turned face up, change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. So we're going to redirect the about face directly to our Willbender instead. And this is, and now remember, morph is a special ability. So sorry, what is it? A special action. So you actually cannot interact with the morph, but you can interact with the trigger that ends up triggering off of the Willbender. In between. Okay, we have Willbender with Tishana's Tidebinder. I will accept that. Tishana's Tidebinder. Even though it technically is a counter, it's like not a counter. It is a counter, but not like a counter spell. Tishana's Tidebinder. It doesn't counter spells, we'll say. It's a 3 mana 3/2 Merfolk Wizard with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, counter up to 1 target activated or triggered ability. If an ability of an artifact, creature, or planeswalker is countered this way, that permanent loses all abilities for as long as Tishana's Tidebinder remains on the battlefield. All right. Disfigure. So Stifle doesn't count. That is correct. That is correct. Okay, we're going to continue here. Even though this technically doesn't stop the ETB, it does answer a Tishana's Tidebinder. Shock. So there was a big war that was won with the Tishana's Tidebinder, but now the Tishana's Tidebinder is the threat, is the 3/2 creature on the battlefield, and is now being answered with Shock. A red instant. Deals 2 damage to any target. And remember, you gotta name, try to name the card that's currently on the screen plus your answer to it, because otherwise I have no idea what your I'm not gonna accept your answer unless you give me the old card and the new card, because otherwise I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. Does anyone have an answer to Shock? Oh, honestly, I don't think Circle of Protection would even work there. Let's the end. Shock into Stone Skin. Stone Skin is a 3 mana aura flash. Enchant creature gets +0, +10. What the hell? It's gonna be a big Tishana's Tidebinder. All right, we got Stone Skin. That's funny as hell. Okay, Kano is like Stone Skin into Tendrils of Agony. What does that do? Wait, you just want to win the game here? I don't think I'm gonna count this. Target player loses 2 life. No, we're gonna assume this doesn't work. It's not like a direct answer to the card. It's like I mean, I know we use like the door to nothingness, but I'm not gonna count Tendrils. Oh no, not the storm. Whoops. Nightingale Seraph. No, not the storm. Steve Cooper. Stone Skin into Shivan Meteor. Okay, Shivan Meteor is a 5 mana sorcery. Shivan Meteor deals 13 damage to target creature. Suspend for... how does this work ever? Oh, I see. You want to kill the creature. I see. Okay, I understand. So there was The Stone Skin did resolve, then Shivan Meteor just resolved later. Okay, so we have a 13 damage sorcery on the stack, apparently. Mark, Stone Skin with Star of Extinction? Star of Extinction. How does that work? Oh, sorry, you went Stone Skin, not Shivan Meteor. Sorry about that. We're at Shivan Meteor. Argentina with Reflect damage. Reflect damage is a 5-mana instant. Redirect all damage dealt by one source to that source's controller. Sounds like somebody's about to get blasted in the face for an entire 13 damage. Yeah, 13 to the face. They didn't see that one coming, that's for sure. This is a cool card. I didn't know this thing existed. It's 5 mana, so it's a bit expensive, but holy crap, it is a bomb. Flavor text is amazing. From you to me, so me to you. Femref, Children's Taunt. Interesting. Okay, we have this fork. Doesn't fork just double it? Maybe I don't even know what. Okay, I'm gonna look. I have a feeling fork is just like it just makes the second copy, which doesn't change anything. Remember, you gotta name the first one. So we've got Vac with reflecting damage and everybody lives. I thought this was an unset card. Oh, somebody mentioned this one earlier. I'm very sorry if I looked up the wrong thing or didn't understand. Okay, Everybody Lives is a 2-mana instant. All creatures gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Players gain hexproof until end of turn. Players can't lose life this turn, and players can't lose the game or win the game this turn. It's gonna be interesting. How do we answer this card? So we need an answer to Everybody Lives so that our reflect damage is going to reflect the damage. It says Everybody Lives. Sorry, Everybody Lives. It doesn't feel like everybody's living in this image. I feel like everybody is dead. These are like the spirits of the dead from the nuclear wasteland. Okay, we have Crowcore Games. Everyone lives with insult/injury. How does this work? Damage can't be prevented this turn. If a source you control would deal damage this turn, deal double that damage instead. But hold on, isn't this a hexproof thing? Players gain hexproof. I don't think it stops it. No, or I don't think it stops it. Because if I understand correctly, like hexproof just means you just can't be targeted. It's a sorcery though. We need to find a way. We can assume it's been played at instant speed. Damage can't always beat Damage can't always beat prevention, huh? It's not targeted. No, what I'm saying is player. Okay, so hold on. How does this work? We have reflect damage. The person who dealt this thing. So the person playing Shivan Meteor is getting reflected damage. So he plays Everybody Lives. Then you're like damage can't be prevented. So damage can't be prevented, but then Everybody Lives, which means you can't redirect the damage back at the person because they have hexproof. That's what I'm trying to say. So they have hexproof, but it'll still take damage. Damage can't be prevented, wins against can't lose life. But I don't get it, but you can't be targeted when the thing resolves. If you give something hexproof in response, it will fizzle. Yeah, you can't target them. That's the problem. This is not going to or how is this working? Players can't lose life. I feel like something got screwed up here. I don't think this thing works. Well, you said card was new state and no cards prevent. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. I'm fine with that. All creatures gain hexproof. I just don't know how you're answering this Players gain hexproof until end of turn. Players can't lose life this turn, and players can't lose the game for having players can't lose the game or win the game this turn. So here's damage can't be prevented. Players can't lose life. Damage can't be prevented this turn. If a source you control would deal damage. Like, I just don't know how it interacts with this at all. Insult says you lose life. You know, damage causes loss of life. So making everyone unable to lose life means that damage isn't being prevented. The damage just doesn't do anything. Okay, I'm just going to assume this works, and we'll move on. I dispute it, though. I call it judge! Judge! Okay, insult. We'll move on from insult just to keep it rolling. Everyone's on like everybody lives. Okay, we'll be on insult. Oh lord, endless combo again. Yeah, everybody lives does work against damage can't be prevented. I do not know. Okay, insert into door. We did door to nothingness already. Unfortunately, you can't use the same card twice. Okay, insult energy. New way forward. A fantastic way to keep the game going. New way forward is a 5-mana instant. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage when damage prevented this way, New Way Forward deals that much damage to that source's control and you draw that many cards. No, I don't even know how this works. Okay, so what was the injury part? Injury deals 2 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that player. So are we interacting with the second one? The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you, prevent the damage. When the damage is prevented, New Way Forward deals that much damage to that person's to their controller. So basically, we're preventing the 2 damage from injury and then drawing 2 cards from it. No, there's a second part to that card, though. Can't always win. Sorry, don't worry. Okay, are we going to go back? We're going to go back to everybody lives? Okay. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea what's going on. But it seems like this is... did we do reprieve already? I think we... I can't remember if we did reprieve. I think we did reprieve already. It's been done. But what we have not done is Venser, Shaper, Savant. This is a new one from David Sampson. Actually, let us all know if reprieve has been done, because I do. Okay, we did do reprieve. Okay, good. Okay, Venser, Shaper, Savant is a 4-mana 2/2 human wizard flash. When Venser, Shaper, Savant enters the battlefield, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. So with that in mind, we are returning the Everybody Lives back to our opponent's hand. Christopher B is going to flash in a Torpor Orb. I guess what helps is if, like, everything has flash. Basically, every card has flash in this game. Torpor Orb is a 2-mana artifact. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger, which means the Venser will enter the battlefield and do absolutely nothing. So now we have a Torpor Orb in play. Or on the stack, if that matters to a specific card. Maybe some card where when it enters the battlefield, or a card says, when an artifact enters the battlefield, you have to be sacrificed or something. Null Rod doesn't work with Torpor Orb. I'll tell you that right now. See, I'm trying to get to some... I appreciate your answer, Kana. I'm just trying to get to somebody who hasn't had a card yet. Nova with Word of Command. Oops, where did I go? The Word of Command. Does this work? Look at target opponent's hand and choose a card from it. You control that player until Word of Command finishes resolving. The player plays the card if able. While doing so, the player can activate mana abilities only if they're from lands that player controls, and only if mana they produce is spent to activate other mana abilities of lands the player controls and or to play the card. If the chosen card is cast a spell you control, the spell is dissolving. Okay, so what I understand, we're going to word of command. This is technically not an answer to Torp Orb, but it does take the game in another direction. We're using word of command, I suppose, so that we can find an answer from somebody else in order to deal with that Torpor Orb. Now we have to deal with the word of command. How does oh my god, LED. Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, so in response to the word of command targeting somebody, they are going to nuke their hand. A Lion's Eye Diamond, a 0 mana artifact. Sack it, discard your hand, add 3 mana of any one color to your mana pool, activate this ability only anytime you could cast an instant. So now we don't even have a hand. Now what a creative way to beat the word of command. The word of your rank. Can we use Remand? Remand technically is a counter spell, so nope. It's like counter target spell or return it back to their hand. It goes to their hand instead of going to the graveyard or something like that. We have... By the way, you can go NC-wide. Let me know you haven't got a suggestion in yet. We got Mark Herford. Lion's Eye Diamond into Discontinuity. Another end the turn card. As long as it's your turn, the spell cost 4 less to cast to end the turn. I don't know if that changes anything. Because if somebody has no hand left, I don't know if this is going to be the answer, because this also is done at instant speed, right? Discard your hand, sack this artifact, because this doesn't use the stack. Yeah, it's masterful. You can't cast my spells if I have no hand. Not really. The stack just goes poof. Well, it doesn't have instant. Oh, I see. But this could. Okay, so this could be an answer to just the game continuing. But technically, the person with Lion's Eye Diamond just held priority, though. We've ended one turn, but what about second turn? Ending a turn exiles all abilities. Doesn't this act like a mana source? If I understand correctly. It's like it says activate this ability only anytime you could cast an instant. Like if you have priority, if I understand. If like this doesn't use the stack, is what I'm saying. I think. Or maybe not. Lion's Eye Diamond. Maybe it does use the stack. Yeah, you still lost your hand as the cost. That's right. Correct. Oh, so yeah, you lose your hand, but you still have the mana on the stack, but that's not the most important part. That's okay. We can continue with this continuity because it's still going to end all the other nonsense that has happened in this turn. Yeah, the discarding doesn't use the stack. I also think you're going to get the mana immediately. Do you prevent the mana because of phase changes? Yeah, you would. If the phase changes. Can we end the turn before they end the turn to prevent the ending of the turn? Yes, if you have another end the turn card. My comment was for using Time Walk to counter discontinuity. Time Walk? What, to get an extra turn? Blue sorcery, take an extra turn after this one. Cast off of, I don't know how you cast this card. Somehow by instant speed. But that doesn't change the fact that the turn ends. I actually don't think this would work. So like, taking an extra turn doesn't prevent the ending of the turn. Like, you're still gonna end the turn here. We have Vec with what is it called? Chance for Glory. Oh, hold on. I got a super chat. The super chat sniped you. We got Ed Preen. Thank you very much for your super chat. The Amulet of Quaz. How does that do anything? Remove this card from your deck before playing if you're not playing for ante. Tap, sack the artifact. Target opponent may ante the top card of their library. If they don't, you flip a coin. If you win the flip, that player loses the game. If you lose the flip, you lose the game. Activate only during your upkeep. This is a very, very, very unusual card that has found its way in our deck. All right, everyone, we're playing for ante all of a sudden. Okay, we need to answer Amulet of Quaz before it can get tapped and activated. This show is how many spells can combo up before someone ends turns off or turns off all interaction. Benjamin with Amulet into Brown Oof. You mean Collector Oof? The Oof that turns things. Is there something called Brown Oof? I think you mean Collector Oof. Collector Oof, 2 mana for a 2/2. Activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. Is there such thing as a Brown Oof? Oh, there is! For 2 mana, tap counter target activated ability from an artifact source. Okay, do you know what? We'll do this one. This one looks better. I guess none of the Oofs don't like artifacts. They never did. Brown Oof is a real card. Look, when I do this show, I can't tell if people are talking about a real card, just sort of, you know, putting something together in writing. These are brown. I don't know. This is a brown mana or brown. It's brown card. Okay, we've got. Is there anyone who hasn't been a part of the show? I will keep selecting random people. I don't mind. Mega Meek is like, I show up late again. Well, then you'll still be part of it at the end. Okay, Seb Stone, Oof into Mystic Reflection. Is that the card that turns the creature into something? Choose target non-legendary creature. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalker enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of the chosen creature. That doesn't actually answer it. Like you get a copy of this thing, but it doesn't change anything. Elgot. The templating is wrong. That's fine. Murder. Okay, we're gonna murder the creature before it activates and counters my Amulet of Quaz. 3 mana, instant, destroy target creature. It's literally the worst removal spell of all time. Didn't we do Misdirection? We did Misdirection already. It's been done. Got something for us, Spectral Maniac? Got something for us? Didn't we do redirect? I'm pretty sure we did Redirect Lightning too. Can you activate its ability before it dies? Maybe as Summoning Sickness. Well, Steve Cooper hasn't been part of this. Snakeskin Veil. Love it when Steve Cooper's part of this. Okay, with Snakeskin Veil is a green instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains hexproof until end of turn. So it's going to protect us from our. It's going to protect our Oof, Brown Oof, from being murdered. It's okay, Crowcore Games. It's just one of those days, you know. We all have days. Voltland. Veil into Arcane Lighthouse. Okay, land. Tap for a colorless. Pay 1, tap. Until end of turn, creatures your opponents control lose hexproof and shroud. And they can't have hexproof or shroud. Looks like the Snakeskin Veil has been thwarted by a stupid land. Oh my god, this land is $7. That is so much money. I guess people hate removal, so they get hexproof and indestructible creatures, and then other people, they hate hexproof and indestructible creatures. They at least play this to get rid of the hexproof and shroud. TD wasn't part of the show yet. Strip Mine. How would redirect actually redirect the Arcane Lighthouse? Strip Mine, tap for a mana, or sacrifice and destroy target land. This is a pretty creative one. Sinkhole. Sinkhole to beat the Arcane Lighthouse. Everyone hates hexproof until they need it themselves. What is this? Teutonic Nightmare. We got Nightmare with Star of Extinction. Star of Extinction is a 7-mana sorcery. Destroy target land. Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Kill your own stuff to kill your opponent. Absolutely. We do what we got to do around here. It's rough. But again, can't Lighthouse be activated before it's destroyed? Good question. I'm not going to go back. That somebody is asking the real questions around here, though. Some people in chat are very astute. Okay, who has... Okay, we'll go with Felicia. Star into Equinox. What is Equinox? It's enchant land. Enchanted land has tap. Counter target spell if it would destroy a land you control. No, it's countering spells. I'm like fine with the abilities. It's a really interesting card though. I really commend it. I think this is really cool. But we're gonna go back here. We're gonna take David Sampson's Brash Taunter. It's a very interesting card. You haven't had a card yet, Croker Games? Well, your other cards got disqualified. Brash Taunter is a 5-mana 1/1 goblin, indestructible. Whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. Okay, so we're gonna let the Star of Extinction resolve, and it'll just blast them in the face for 20. And for 3 mana tap, Brash Taunter fights another target creature. So we're just fine with the land, and we're gonna redirect the 20 damage to their face. Okay, now we're at Brash Taunter. Like, half the stuff today doesn't work if this is a real stack, probably. Maybe we'll do another show where, like, we are building the game. And we do have to account for everything that's in the game. We could do that one day. Like the ultimate stack or whatever. Where like, there was a humility in play, or a humility can be flashed into play in response to cards. Okay, we have Brash Taunter into Gather Specimens. What the hell is Gather Specimens? 6 mana instant. If a creature would come into play under an opponent's control this turn, it comes into play under your control instead. So we're we're stealing the Brash Taunter that got played in response to our Star of Extinction. Teutonic Nightmare says maybe the ultimate stack game has to have a limit of like 2 to 3 counterspells before it has to reset. The chat has to see how big the stack can get before a reset. No. I'm gonna hard ban the counterspells. Because like there's too many counterspells in this game. It's just too many counterspells. We could play against you, chat, and you are allowed to conjure a land and a spell into their hand each turn. Oh, so we're playing mental magic? That is interesting. That is actually very, very interesting. No, wait a minute. I don't like this. I'm gonna lose horribly. My memory for like cards are like garbage. I mean, we could try actually. Nikachu versus mental magic. Nikachu versus chat. Something like that. Okay, Spectral Maniac. Gather specimens into Homeward Path. I'm looking out for you, Croker Games. You can have this one. You can defeat the Homeward Path. Land. Tap to add a colorless to your mana pool. Tap. Each player gains control of all creatures that they own. Oh, very, very interesting. So we stole the Brash Taunter, and now we're going to steal it back. It's a very, very fascinating card. This thing is also like $15. People just hate their stuff being stolen. It taps for mana, I guess. Like, so it's like it's completely free to play. Like, it's it costs you nothing to be playing this thing. 1 extra colorless mana. You got nothing. You can strip mine this thing. Well, we did strip mine. You gotta use something else. Homeward Path. Oh my god, Bell with Annex. That's so rude. That's so rude, Bell. Annex is enchant. Annex, enchant land. You control enchanted land. Okay, Croker, you got an answer to Annex? You got an answer to Annex? I believe in you, Croker Games. I believe in you. Annex Perplexing Chimera. Perplexing Chimera. What does this do? Okay, it's a jank. I remember it's a janky card. It's a 5 mana 3/3. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may exchange control of Perplexing Chimera and that spell. If you do, you may choose new targets for the spell. Teutonic says, what happens to Annex if someone casts Brand? They get the land back, but the enchantment is still attached? I don't know. I got redeemed. I did after so many fails. The show is sometimes a little complicated. All right, that's it. This show was a little tricky. It was a little bit of a tricky show. It was a new idea. I think it got a lot of engagement, though. I think everybody really liked it. We're going to refine the idea, or I'm going to refine the rules to this. We're definitely banning all counterspells, though, in the future. The counterspells have to be banned. But like maybe we'll make new rules, like the game actually has to remember the board state in the past. I don't know if that's so fair to the people entering the show, but we'll figure something out. Okay, but we do these shows 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thanks for also getting through like the what is it, 1440 or 144p or whatever it is that we had today in stream. Thanks to people like David Sampson, Spectral Maniac, Benjamin Berkey, Nova McKenzie. We got Finn Grinder, Indiana Jones Mercenary. I got you, Benjamin. Ed Preen, Turg, Nightingale, Seraph. Oh, shout out to Crowcore Games and who else at the end? We got Adaptus, Bell, Old Boy, Lesthian, Steve Cooper, Kano, Mega Mika, Little Deadfly still here at the beginning, always here at the end. Indiana Jones. Oh no, Indiana Jones was naming a card. Lord Jeraxus. We got Mountum and many more. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing those coffees. We're gonna keep brewing up that magic. Take care of yourselves. And